There is an obligation, so to say, in front of freedom, in front of the perfect godly integration, in front of enlightenment, there's an obligation to do what you were meant to do. And if you think you can stay in the big shoe that you're supposed to fill with the small foot, you are contributing to the decay of the universe. So, my dears, today we chose the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, verse 20 up to 24. 5 verses. And it goes like this. By performing their prescribed duties, King Janaka and others attained perfection. So by performing their prescribed duties, King Janaka and the others attained perfection. You should also perform your work to set an example for the good of the world. Whatever actions great persons perform, common people follow. Whatever standards they set, all the world pursues. There is no duty for me to do in all the three worlds, O Partha, which is Arjuna, right? Nor do I have anything to gain or attain. Again, there's no duty for me to do in all the three worlds, nor do I have anything to gain or attain. Yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. For if I did not carefully perform the prescribed duties, all men would follow my path in all respects. Again, for if I did not carefully perform the prescribed duties, all men would follow my path in all respects. If I ceased to perform prescribed actions, all these worlds would perish. I would be responsible for the pandemonium that would prevail and would thereby destroy the peace of the human race.
So basically what Krishna says, he starts by giving this example of King Janaka, who is considered the example, the model karma yogi. He was a perfect king and also a perfect jnani, also an accomplished yogi and also a perfect king. And by doing karma yoga, he attained perfection. Ramakrishna often speaks about him as fighting with two swords, also with action and also with practice, knowledge and devotion on the other hand. Now, Krishna is basically telling Arjuna, you must do your duty because you are an example for others. And he says, as I am an example for others and an example for you, you are an example for others. And if you don't do, they don't do. And there is a certain, Krishna is indicating a certain spiritual hierarchy. You see, God gives light to the sun gives light to the moon, somebody takes a picture of the moon, somebody takes the picture of the moon, draws the moon, another person looks at the picture of the moon and describes verbally the picture. So we have, you understand, there is a 5 reflection step over there. If you take away God doesn't give light to the sun, the whole thing collapses. The sun doesn't give light to the moon, the whole thing collapses. It's a moonless night, this part collapses. So if we follow the spiritual hierarchy correctly, wherever we are, we give our gifts to everyone under us in the hierarchy by being a perfect example. And he says, look at me. I don't gain anything. I don't lose anything. I have everything already set. He's Krishna, Narayana, he's Vishnu, he's God. And I do my duties. Follow my example. Do your duties without getting anything. And like I am free, it's implicit in the text, you will be free. And then the people that will follow Arjuna's example, they will also become free. So it's very profound. You see, he says, I don't do it for any gain. And I can stop doing it. And if I stop doing it, chaos will prevail. There will be destruction everywhere. And I do it. I just do it because this is the Dharma. This is the flow of things. And when we go and do our little duties, we look up in the hierarchy and we see these model human beings, these model saints who are all karma yogis, and they look higher and they see all the divine beings, look higher and see the one absolute. And everyone who is divine is constantly doing karma yoga. If you read Swedenborg's books and Sundar Singh's books about the worlds of angels and so forth, they are constantly doing karma yoga. They are constantly doing the divine will without any personal gain, without any expectation. And because of that, they live in tremendous joy and freedom. Those of you who have done these meditations with angels, if you are able to report and to feel and to embrace an angel in your heart, they have such tremendous joy because they do without any expectation, simply because it's their duty.
For me, what stood out in this sequence of descriptions of Krishna, the essential message is do your duties. But what I find so interesting is how he describes very tangibly and clearly what happens when you don't fulfill your duties. This I find very interesting about this passage. So it's not just, okay, you know what, guys, you have some duties, do them. It could be sort of even interpreted like, well, it was a way in those times to give a bit of a religious impulse so that you have everybody in line for, social reasons and have the social norms fulfilled. You see, Krishna said, everybody fulfill your duties, very good. But actually, he puts it in such a way that makes it very clear what is the cosmic consequence of the anu, the individual, the atom, the singular individual, if it doesn't play its reflected role of the whole. If the singular atom of the creation doesn't, the little universe, the microcosm, doesn't integrate in the way that is meant to, in the bigger orchestration of the whole, in the bigger plan, and even worse, if the microcosmic does not come to reflect the macrocosmic, the entire creation is meant to fall apart. That's basically how he's describing it. He's like, look, if you, Arjuna, don't go ahead and do what you're meant to do in this war, then every hero will be like, well, look at Arjuna. He's like Uriel described. He's the one that I'm looking towards. He's not doing it. He's now renouncing because he had some revelation here. Okay, let's all renounce. And then this battle that needs to happen, as cruel as it is, but it needs to happen, it cannot happen. And the entire godly plan, cannot be fulfilled. Now, obviously, the arrogance shouldn't be that when you decide in your little ego, or we decide in our little ego not to do what we are meant to do, that then the universe will fall apart. No, but you are choosing to not contribute to the big symphony. You are choosing to not contribute to that amazing, orchestrated, beautiful piece of music that you are meant to be a part of. So when he speaks about the duties, how I see it and how I feel it, it is to fulfill not just, also of course, the little daily things that need to be done, but to fulfill the big duty, to fulfill the purpose of your life. And that there is an obligation, so to say, in front of freedom, in front of the perfect godly integration, in front of enlightenment, there's an obligation to do what you were meant to do. And if you think you can stay in the big shoe that you're supposed to fill with the small foot, you are contributing to the decay of the universe. Your decay, and therefore sort of siding with the decay of the universe. And for me, it's a very tremendous message somehow, that no matter what your duty is, may that be sweeping the yard, or may that be reigning a country, but you have a biblical, a Gita-able purpose, that a biblical life, a Gita life, a Bodhidharma life, whatever life, you have a life that is assigned to you by godly integration. And if you don't succeed to fulfill that, then basically you are stepping on the other side. For me, it is as big as that, as in you are making a choice against the universal plan, against that which is integrated, against that which is meant to be. And it's very interesting because we tend to sort of see it like, well, poor little me, I didn't get to fulfill that dream life that I thought I would fulfill. No, actually, it's not poor little you. The world is doing something bad to you that you cannot fulfill. You are meant to fulfill in order to gift yourself to the world. This is what you came here to do. It is up to you to fulfill these big shoes. And you do fulfill these big shoes by playing the game, doing the little duties. From the little duties come the bigger duties. From the bigger duties come the universal duties, and so forth. The integration needs to happen at the micro level, and when it happens there, then it will ripple to make you who you are meant to be, which is glorious. No matter how little or much you will be known, no matter what it will be that you will be doing, but it will be glorious what you are meant to do. And when that is fulfilled, you come to this larger fulfillment of duty within this universe, which contributes to the overall perfection of the symphony.
Or maybe as a final quote for that, there's this quote from Christ that says that every tree that doesn't bring good fruit will be cut down and thrown in the fire. You understand, everything that was supposed to bring a purpose, a universal purpose, and doesn't bring it, will be cut down and thrown in the fire. You know how many species extincted on this earth?
All of them.
99%.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, it's a continuous trial and error. The universe, many and then cut, and then many and then cut, and then many and then cut. So there was a lot of extinction also before mankind, don't worry. It is like that. And somehow the experiments are done ad infinitum and ad eternity. So if you catch that, if you do your gestures perfectly, you basically will vibrate as a soul to eternity. There is an immortal soul or indestructible soul if it can continuously align exactly to the universal order.
Yeah, and this reminds me of another quote.
There we are.
That I just heard today, but it fits so perfectly. For me, it was a revelation. One simple sentence. You ready?
What do I look like? I'm ready.
Sin is a violation of purpose. Brilliant. Sin is a violation of purpose. It was such a revelation to me. When you take something and you don't use it to its purpose, you are violating it. When you're asking from something that it can't do, you're violating it. When you do an action that is not integrated in its purposeful way, you're violating that moment and time, that space, that thing, that whatever it is. Sin is a violation of purpose. And when you are on purpose, when you are exactly filling in the shoes you are meant to fill in, when you are the tree that bears the fruits that it is meant to bear, you are without sin.
Yeah, this is the delicate part. Yeah. The delicate part is how to know what's your duty, and somehow the awakening of intuition and the awakening of the heart and all the spiritual knowledge and scriptures, correct spiritual knowledge, are the support for that. we have been trained and brought up by the laws of society. And society is a bit off the universe. I think you figured this out already, yeah? So there's the order of the universe and there's the order of society, and it's not really, you know, it's like, I can't believe it's not butter. It's not butter. It's different. And because society is so engraved in us, society is so caught up in our process of verbal thinking and so forth, we lost the very natural connection with our heart and intuition that would always put us in the state of integration. So we need to retrain that. Awaken the heart, awaken intuition, and read, study with the heart a lot of spiritual texts. And gradually, and of course to have the courage to really, really want it. And then we break through this, let's say, agency of society inside. Not just this society, but thousands of years of society that created a kind of crust, a mental crust around our heart. We are able to crack that open and to return to this light of the heart, which knows without a doubt. But it takes some practice, yes.
Also, I liked very much one idea that David Data gave at one point. So, and also actually one idea that you gave at one point. If you don't know yet what is the overarching purpose of your life, then your purpose is to find your purpose. Quote Kunuriel. And David Data, he said something interesting. He said, if you don't know what is the larger purpose, make sure that everything you do has a purpose, has a meaning, is filled with meaning, is arising from the heart, has a dimension that is good, that is valuable, that is virtuous. And by accumulating more and more actions that are virtuous and that are done with a sense of meaning and with a sense of integration, with the wish to contribute to the greater whole, even in the smallest way, then that will accumulate in time to a purposeful direction, which makes a lot of sense. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.